I think that the rents would be something in the neighborhood of $1 plus or minus a square foot. Higher is what I'm being told. So 1,200 a unit, so that varies, so about $2 a foot. It's pretty strong.
What's the actual rent per month?
Well, we haven't, I mean, I think that the target would be, $2 a square. So if it's a 600 square foot apartment, $1,200 a month in rent. Oh, I'm sorry.
Access points to the millennial housing.
Yes. So by vehicle, the access point to the millennial would be from the intersection of Peachtree Industrial to Reps Miller, but it actually fronts on Guthridge Court. So the access points, there would be a couple of access points, but off of Guthridge Point, and then it would come out at the signal here at PIB and Reps Miller. Yes, sir. These are townhomes, and to be honest with you, I don't know how many are back there. I would guess 100, but I really don't know. Maybe not that many. But it's a relatively speaking sizable development there.
For the multifamily development, millennial housing, we hope it's millennials that rent, but you really have no way of confirming that that's actually what's going to happen, right? Because it's a pretty big challenge between being affordable for millennials and sort of maybe the upscale project that I think we all would like to see.
Well, I think that $2 a foot would be the most expensive housing of this nature in Gwinnett County. But your point is well made. And so, I mean, there are obviously restrictions on who you can or can't market to. But the idea would be, because of the way these are sized and amenitized, that it would attract, by natural selection, a certain demographic, which we hope would be, millennials. But it's certainly possible that that's not. I don't want to stand up here and mislead you. I mean, we think that's what would be targeted, and we think that's what the city was desiring with respect to the LCI, the results of the LCI study. But as to who would actually be there, I would be disingenuous or misleading if I told you something different. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I think, and I think, really and truly, if all of this, and it sounds like what the city's got in the hopper, if that gets on the ground, and we think that this can be a catalyst, I mean a real catalyst, so that our community people can come out here and see, not only can I walk up the multi-use trail from my neighborhood, Riverview, which is up at the northern end of the city, walk down to the Forum, but I can hop across, hopefully, onto the other side of the town center, hopefully walk up the multi-use trail up Medlock Bridge, go in behind Norcross High School and hit that easement and come down here to this lake, and then walk back up around and go up Peachtree Corner Circle to the church over on that side, and maybe hit the Y for a swim on the way back. So, I mean, I hope, I need this, clearly. Yeah, it's all about me here. Yes, ma'am.
Access to the shark.
Yes.
Who has it and where would it be?
So what we're anticipating, and we're still having conversations with the city about this, because there are several property owners here who have frontage on the pond as well. But what we control are two things that are very important for this. Our project controls this acre here, which was in the visuals where I showed you, look at the gas line and look at the water feature. Here's where that shot was taken, looking up the gas line. We control this. Our project controls this. And one of the property owners involved in this is the declarant, which controls the lake. And so we have the ability to effect access. So to answer your question from our perspective, the best access point would be here, because that's what we control, and so that's what we can represent to you. But that doesn't mean that in this, that would be the only point of entry. We would anticipate that people that live here would also be able to come in on this side. But the other thing I would say about this, just for consideration and not necessarily germane to tonight's meeting, but just for thought, this is the biggest that I'm aware of, but there are several lakes in the park that could be activated and become an amenity, whereas now they're nice to look out office windows at and think about, but we could put them to use potentially. So I don't know. I can find out and respond. I don't know. What was the depth
Excuse
of the
me.
lake?
Where are the buildings that you're going to redo to, they're all in there now? You're going to knock them down?
Yes, sir. There are two existing office buildings right roughly in this location right here that would be taken down and reconstructed with this use. They are lightly occupied. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Back to the lake, is there any walking trails kind of around the lake that we have access to get access?
Well, right here, certainly. But this is circling the lake. There are private property owners involved there, so there would have to be easements and things negotiated with them to circle it. So no, we are not reflecting, coming across these folks' property, though we think, hopefully, with respect to the easement and some of the opportunities, like right here, for example, that would be a good access point. But again, those are other property owners that my project doesn't represent today. Yes, sir. Come to you.
With regard to the lake, that's a beautiful amenity for those apartment residents. But would that also enable residents of Peachtree Corners to go down there and be around the lake,
That is our hope, yes.
I know there's no trails around there, but that,
Not yet, but if we're able to do this, again, remember, this is a 9-acre site here. This would be an extension of Engineering Drive, and it would have a multi-use path coming up right here to the access point. So we certainly hope that it will be an opportunity.
well, that would be nice, because that's a beautiful lake, and that'd be nice. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, the dam is right in this area, or it's somewhere right in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You mean what is the legal term? The declarant is the property owner that controls the common area within Technology Park. Well, to answer, I think to answer.
Lee, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so the question was, first, what is the declarant? What does the legal term mean? And then secondarily, does the declarant control access around the lake? And so I'd answer that two ways. First, the declarant as a legal matter is the entity that controls the common area, common utilities, common infrastructure, et cetera, certainly in this part of Technology Park, but more broadly as well. With respect to the declarant's rights over other properties, other than approval rights and things set forth in the legal document that encumber the property. So in this case, the declarant has to agree to this, has to agree to the architecture, has to agree to the plan broadly. But the declarant, at least insofar as my reading of the covenants, does not have an opportunity to tell these folks, just as an example, I don't know who, but doesn't have the opportunity to tell them, you have to put a trail in right there. So, does that answer? Sorry, I tried. Trying. Sorry. Yes, sir. Fitness and pool. We are not proposing commercial. We're not proposing non-residential amenities in this. So we're not proposing street level retail or anything like that in this project. What we're hoping is that, they would take advantage of the other things out there. But the amenity package would include pool, workout, conference room, kind of the certainly Wi-Fi, absolutely. Okay, I'm told that last question. Well, we have had some conversations about, what kind of infrastructure could be put here, but our view of it would be, other than as being an amenity, we wouldn't anticipate developing it insofar as that goes. So, for example, we wouldn't necessarily see putting a large paved parking field on it, though that may be a conversation that could be had, but we would see it being as is with the trail infrastructure kind of put into place there. And again, what exactly a trailhead, for lack of a better characterization, looks like, that's something that we'll have to develop with the city if we're ultimately successful.
So I've got the microphone, so I'll have the last question, okay?
I get the last answer?
Yeah, you get the,
All right.
I guess so. So when you go before Planning and Zoning, February the
Yes.
9th, what will be the specific request
Sure.
that you will be making before Planning and
Sure.
Zoning?
So our request before the Planning Commission, it's a single application, but there are multiple zoning classifications involved. And the reason we did that is because we didn't want density creep and we wanted folks to be real clear about what we were asking for. So it is in my mind, I think about it as a mixed-use project, but there are discrete asks. So this property here, we are requesting TO, which is the open space ordinance. This site, we are asking for commercial zoning. This site, the Shark, is TO, and this site is multifamily. So, and there are 10 parcels involved, so it kind of mixes up in there, but those are the large triggers of our ask. So it's kind of an all or nothing shot for us. It's one project that has all of these components with, like I said, 6 property owners, 4 developers, 10 parcels, trying to put it together and make something that makes sense for all concerned. So anybody that has questions, be glad to answer them. Shoot me an email. Sure, I'll stand around after, be glad to talk about it. We want to try to get feedback, get information so that when we get to the Planning Commission, hopefully on February 9th, we will have a well-vetted application package and presentation. So thank you very much for letting me speak tonight. Thank you.